Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Bunch of Notes podcast. This is Dan. I'm here with Big Cass. I hope everyone had a very nice Thanksgiving. It was an uneventful Thanksgiving. Not a lot happened this past weekend. Not a lot to talk about. Um, Max Crosby is a Ohio State fan. That
Had
is
no clue.
Had no clue. So that's the big news. Short show today. Um, Not a lot of football played this weekend. Hey, you got anything, Cass?
I had the worst 3 days of freaking sports in history, man. I went to the Buckeye basketball game Friday. They lose on a last second shot, but they also shot 62% from the free throw line. And then obviously I worked the Ohio State Michigan game, and then my Bengals defense let Russell Wilson look like a surefire Hall of Famer. So it was a miserable 3 days. Um, Luckily,
Broncos won. That was
yeah,
nice on Monday night for me. I enjoyed that.
luckily for me, another successful Fox season. Working with Joel Klatt and Gus Johnson this year, majority of the games this year has been unbelievable. And the fact that like Gus Johnson like gave me a hug after the game, not to console me, but to just say, good work this year. See you next year. Joel fist pumping me. Um, Other than the spotter saying "Glow Blue" to me, it's pretty successful Fox. And if I decide to go back next year, I can't wait to work for those guys again. And I'm probably one that loves noon games just because I can work with those guys.
Yeah.
But it sucked. Like I sat up there and I just looked and we're like, what the hell just happened? Like we even at halftime we were all up there, and after Ohio State went down and scored, we're like, this game's over. Like Ohio State's going to win this game, and then all of a sudden it just
Uh,
poof.
when Ohio State scored and tied it at half, I was like, okay, cool. Like we're gonna come out, score first drive, and then we're gonna hang at least like 21 straight points on them because the defense did their job. Elephant in the room. Obviously, Ohio State lost to Michigan 13-10. Obviously, we're the most biased Ohio State podcast out there. And it was a bad day. There's no, I'm in the acceptance stage now. I was grieving for the first 48 hours, just silent, kind of just sitting on my couch. I kind of have cast like, oh, you have the depression beard and everything, and it's like, yeah, it
I
was
mean, I haven't shaved my neck in like a week either. So
it was so Davis Warren did not light the world on fire. He went for 9 for 16, 62 yards, two picks.
they scored their only touchdown after we threw an interception inside the
At the
15-yard
one,
line.
yeah, at the one, the defense balled out. Khalil Mullings, 32
Good
carries,
running back.
good, yeah, 32 carries, 116 yards, averaged 3.6 yards a carry. His big run of the day was on that third down. That was a back-breaking play where we had him dead
And
to rights.
real quick, and I'm not saying this because we love Quinshawn and Trey, but how did Khalil Mullins not get second team All Big Ten? I know our guys Trey and Quinshawn Junkins got second team All Big Ten, but how did Mullins not?
I mean, you have a point. I mean, I know Mullings probably has more carries, but when you look at the numbers, Judkins and Trey have been kind of disappointing this year. Like 805 yards from Judkins, 751 yards from Trey in the regular season. I mean, I think we both predicted. We thought they were surefire thousand each.
Well, didn't help that this was not an up tempo Chip Kelly Ryan Day offense,
Yeah,
and it didn't help that whoever we played knows the clock rules. And every time they run the ball on first and second down, they just wind that clock down all the way to zero before they
yeah.
hiked it. So
But back to the game. The play calling on offense was just it was it was the worst thing I've ever seen. I mean,
I've seen better play calling in Division 7 football, high
uh,
school football.
it made the Tim Beck, Michigan State play calling, right? It was Tim Beck, right?
Ed Werner.
Ed Warren, yeah, it made that look like,
Both of them, Tim Beck and Ed
yeah,
Warner.
it made that look like Sean McVay on the Rams, like prime Sean McVay, because this was they had no one on the outside. They were depleted. They didn't have anyone who could cover Jeremiah. We got Don Thomas on Twitter tweeting out, oh, Jeremiah only had, what, 35, 45 yards on the day. Every time he got targeted, it was a PI. It was
Yeah,
every time we got on the perimeter, when the fourth down, when Devin Brown came in the game, we got Judkins on the perimeter,
yep.
20 something yards.
Travion Henderson and out in the flat for 30 yards.
Yeah. We did the option. We did. Will Howard did an option play. Got to Judkins. First down. It's every time we got on the perimeter, we're eating them alive. But
Caleb Downs gets an interception inside the 20. We run the ball straight up the middle 3 times and miss a field goal.
Michigan had they were missing Loveland, Will Johnson, so their two top guys out.
And
Um,
more, he was out from the beginning of the year.
and the Don Edwards got rolled up by Caleb Downs, and their Michigan fans are calling that dirty. It was not dirty. It was just unfortunate. I promise you. Like if you watch, it was a bang bang play. It was if you're gonna call that dirty, then the Northwestern player needs to be kicked out of the Big Ten for what he
Yep.
did to Jeremiah Smith 2 weeks ago. Um, but back to what I was saying. The play calling was idiotic. Um, they have the two best defensive tackles in the country, and we said, "Hey, let's run Travion Henderson, a guy who's known for not running down. Dre's not a downhill runner. He's improved this year, but that's never been his skill set." And we said, "We're gonna make you a power back today, Trey, and we're gonna just ram you up the A gap and B gap, and you're gonna have to deal
We're
with
we're,
Graham."
we're gonna line Graham and Grant over across Tegra Shabola all game long.
And our depleted offensive line, where we're weak in the interior due to injury. And they thought
Tegra,
that was a good idea. And
Tegra, man, he
and,
looked bad.
and they continue to think that was a good idea. And that is an absolute failure by Chip Kelly and Ryan Day. And now, Cass, I got to ask you this because you were at the game and you would know this. Was it really that windy?
The field was, yeah. I mean, I was looking at because I kept going up to the press box because it's so freaking cold, and the wind was swirling on the field. Like you know how you can see hot dog wrapper, like when people get hot dog wrappers and that. Yeah, they were blowing on the field. The flag was pretty windy. It was the windy. It was a little bit windier than Indiana game.
I mean,
Without
Indiana wasn't that windy, though. That's the thing.
well, if you looked at the one miss from fielding, that ball, like you could tell the ball was just stuck in the wind and just floated over. Um, but chip shot field goals. Here's the thing too. If Jaden Fielding makes those two field goals, we win the game 16-13 or 16-0 because who knows, Are we having these conversations? That's where I'm at. We're having a conversation about planning for Oregon. Guarantee it. It comes down to, do I think Chip Kelly and Ryan Day are phenomenal play callers? Hell yeah. We've seen it. We've seen it. Even against Oregon this year, we've seen it. I just think, and I think this is why it took, Harbaugh a while. It's and John Cooper in the 90s. John Cooper laid it on some teams. I think it's a mentality thing for Ryan Day. I think he's a phenomenal head coach. I think he's a phenomenal leader. But when it comes to this game, it's like he's a middle school coach.
Like I say,
It
it's
has to be psychological.
no, it is. It's like he doesn't play Ohio State's game for some reason. It's
No.
if you take the uniform off, and if this was Indiana, Iowa,
Illinois.
Nebraska, Minnesota, yeah, we start slow. I'm not denying that. We come out though in the second half and we pull away. But for some reason, when he sees the maize and blue, Ryan Day freaks out, and I don't know why. What's frustrating to me, Cass, is also the special teams.
Yeah.
Dominic Zavada Michigan's kicker, great kicker by the way, awesome kicker. I gotta give him his flowers too. He was in the transfer portal this like last season. He literally played in 2022 against Ohio State, and he had a phenomenal day. He went 4 for 4 on Arkansas State for a field goal, so 4 for 4, hit a long of 45. And I literally remember turning to Bree, my wife, and going, "Oh, this kicker's really good." And he was in the portal. And somehow, Ryan Day and these guys saw this guy play and said, "No, we like fielding better." And he goes to your arch rival, and he makes some big kicks. And it's not just that though; it's the special teams. It's Trey not fielding the kick cleanly, which I don't know why this happens every time we play Michigan. It's Trey one year, it's Julian Fleming the other. I don't know why we can't field these kickoffs. Just call the fair catch. Don't even try to return. Just fair catch, and we'll take
Or
the
let
ball.
the ball hit the end zone.
We'll just at that point stop trying to field them against them until we get over this mental hurdle. You're fair catching it and take the ball. Caleb could have he didn't catch it. That was frustrating because the week before he housed a touchdown. I'm not Caleb played a great game though. I don't want to nitpick him because that's his one mistake. He literally kept us in that game, so I kind of will let that slide on him. But yeah, our kicking, fielding missed those field goals, and then our punter, Joe McGuire's been money all year. We've given him so many Buckeye leaves, but he shanked like 2 kicks. I'm just like, what's going on? Why is it this week that our special teams is just look so inept, but the week before we were FaceTiming each other in the middle of the game, screaming, saying,
Yeah.
"We're back,
10 years, like
the
10
team is
years.
back." Like I
It's
don't
right
understand.
here.
Yeah, it is. It's absolutely right there. It's crazy.
So now, where do we go from here? We're sixth in the college football playoff rankings. As of right now, we're set to play a home game against Tennessee. I like the matchup. I
Could be
really
Bama.
do. Um, Look at the bright side. One of the technical directors for Fox told me how it got me really cheered up. It got me kind of cheered up. He's like, look on the bright side. He's like, you guys are going to the playoffs, and these guys got to watch you in the playoffs. Hopefully, you guys make it far while they celebrate and get mayonnaise dumped all over them.
Duke's Mayo Bowl.
So it made me feel a little bit better about it. But here we are. Everybody's calling for Ryan Day's head. I know a lot of people are angry, and
I've
but
angrily,
here's the
I've angrily tweeted. I'm not. I kind of maybe regret a little bit some of the things I said because I still like Ryan Day, and I don't know if I want to throw. We got to give him one more year. I'll give him one more year. I'll officially say he gets this playoff run, and then next season, and then
here
after that, I'm ready to blow up the house.
we with the change of college football. And I hope they really do change early signing period because we shouldn't have early signing period in the middle of getting ready for technically a Big Ten championship. And that's good for every team. We shouldn't have an early signing period in December with the extended playoffs. Signing period should be in February. No early signing period with the new playoff system. I get it. Hey, we got a hell of a class. I love Pettijohn. I love Alford. I like the three offensive linemen we got. Jake Cook's going to be a brawler. I think he's going to be really good.
I'm
Tavion
really
St.
excited
Clair.
about Etta John because he's a different linebacker. He's got like
Yeah.
crazy speed.
I'm excited for Tavion St. Clair. I'm excited for Turbo Rogers and Bo
Her
Jackson.
unreal, like yeah, 2 sick backs.
Isaiah West. I'm excited for this class. We can't. That's the thing. People want Ryan Day gone right now. I'm with you. That's why I keep saying I'm not on the fire Ryan Day train right yet.
I'm,
Ryan
I'm
Day is
also
a
not.
hell of a coach.
I'm also not on the fire Ryan Day, even though I've tweeted a lot of memes and stuff this week. Because here's the thing: we can't we can't fire him because we fire Ryan Day.
Our whole roster's gone.
You lose Jeremiah Smith and you lose Caleb Downs, and like you will lose them.
You lose.
And I'm willing to believe that, I'm willing to take an inept Ryan Day for one more season just because those guys are such dogs, it might not matter what Ryan Day does. Like it might not matter. Ryan Day might not be able to mess it up because they're so talented. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
So
I
I
all
can't risk losing those two guys. I know everyone's like, "Oh, you can't live in fear of losing your roster and stuff." Well, no, those two guys are generational. I want to make that clear. Those two guys are different. Though I've never seen two guys like that come through the doors of Ohio State, and I'm not losing them for like losing our coach. Um, I so I'll say this. I'll give Ryan Day one more year. If he doesn't beat Michigan next year, gone. Like he's gone. He's this is this is
bet
the this is the equivalent of a PIP. I'm putting Ryan Day on a performance improvement plan. He is on a PIP. He needs to at least win a couple games in the playoff. I would like to at least see us go to the Natty. We have to go
I
to.
would like I would like to see us if we can get to the semifinals and depending on who we play or get to the national champion. I mean, obviously, I think obviously national championship. But again, Denzel Burke says not 90 or bust. Blah blah blah. There, I've seen every scenario whether we're the 7 seed because we either we're hosting a playoff game, whether we're the 8 seed, the 7 seed, the 6 seed. We're not going to get the 5, 6, 7, or 8 seed. We're hosting a playoff game. That's stupid drastic stuff that happened. There is not a scenario where I don't think the Buckeyes can win a national championship.
I think the only weird scenario would be if Penn State beat Oregon on Saturday. I think that's the chaos scenario. Am I right? Because then Penn
Be the
State would
two
have to
seed.
claim the number one, I believe. I believe they
Yeah,
would
they
be
would be the
number
number
one.
1 seed.
How funny would that be, bro?
But even think about that. Even if we are the 8 seed, we beat whoever the 9 seed is. We turn around and play Penn State in the Rose Bowl, beat Penn State. We're in the semifinals. That's where I look at it this way. I think the only way I look at it is if Texas or Georgia, well, either one of I think the 7 seed would be the worst viable option for Ohio State. One, you're probably going to play a 10 seed team that's not not too shabby, but you're also going to have to turn around and play Georgia or Texas
Yeah.
in Dallas or Atlanta, wherever the Peach Bowl or Cotton Bowl is. That's where I look at it. I think the 7 seed, but then again, who is dominant this year? Nobody.
No
People
one's
are talking about Ohio State shouldn't be in the playoffs, or Ohio State should not be where they're at because they lost to a 7-5 Michigan team. They also lost to the number 1 team in the country by 1. Alabama is going to get into the playoffs, and they lost to 6-6 teams on the road.
They lost
All
to
three teams that
Vandy,
they lost to, Oklahoma,
Tennessee, Oklahoma. Yeah.
well, except for Tennessee. I'm sorry, they lost to 2-6 teams on the road, Vanderbilt and Oklahoma.
No, look,
Okay,
Ohio State has a great
Georgia.
resume with the wins of Penn State and Indiana, and then the
Yeah,
loss to Oregon is the best, the 1 point
and
loss.
how bad is the loss to Michigan?
It's it's bad. I'm not gonna
I
lie.
mean,
It's
it's bad, but
it stings. It
it's
feels.
not Oklahoma or Vanderbilt bad.
You know what the loss kind of feels like, and it's obviously not. I'm going to preface this as it's not the same magnitude because the game did not matter as much. It will never matter as much. It reminds me of the 2014 loss to Virginia Tech a little bit. How
A
we're
little
all
bit,
feeling about ourselves. I think Virginia Tech finished as were they a 7-5 or 6-6 team?
something like that.
They were very similar to like a Michigan. So maybe this is our rallying cry. Maybe Ryan Day, and the boys, they're cooking something up in the Woody. I know Caleb.
They had that meeting
They had a
apparently.
thing. Um, I will say this is not an excuse. You can definitely tell that Will Howard was off after that hit.
Was he hurt?
Not an
That's
excuse.
the question.
Was it a concussion? People are saying. I don't know if it was concussion. It could have just been a really bad stinger. It could have been nerves. So he did not look right because he threw a couple balls that usually he's been on the money. Some of those passes to like a Mecca were like way behind him. And one got picked. I think one was to Jeremiah, was it, or a Mecca? The one that got picked. Well, two got picked, but The one that got picked when I think we were in the red zone. One was right.
Oh, that was on his way. That was on his way to Mecca.
Yeah, it was behind him, and that's
But
we
you know
both-
what? One of the biggest plays of the game that nobody's talking about. It was third down and 6 in our own red zone, and Carnell Tate drops a wide open first down that would have put it first and goal.
that. You know what? You're absolutely correct, and it's what's frustrating is Ohio State made so many stupid little mistakes. It's just like if Tate catches that pass, we
Yep.
probably win the game. Like I think we go on a drive there, and that just killed the drive. And
Yep.
I would have liked Ryan Day to tuck your skirt in and call a foul, or just go for it. Because well, like I said, if that's Minnesota, Indiana, Nebraska, Iowa, we pull a stunt like that. Maryland, we go for it. We go for it inside our own 30. We'd be like, okay, yeah, who cares? They'll
We
if we'll hold them, they'll kick a field goal. Like, and their offenses are way better than Michigan's. Like, were you like, what are we giving up 3 there? Okay, run the dang play. Like it, maddening.
So where do you think this will go along in with our championship Saturday picks slash Friday? Because we might as well pick them all. They're all
Oh yeah,
championship.
I'm saying we're gonna pick them all, no spreads. Just I just want to
Pick them
see.
all, no spreads.
Yeah,
Because the spreads are all too close, anyways.
yeah.
Or how many games are there? Okay, there's one, two, three, four, five, six. So going by our predictions for this week, here's what I have. Friday I have Boise State winning. Um,
I got Boise State as well. I have
I,
Tulane.
I have Army.
Okay. I have Iowa State over Arizona State.
I have Iowa State as well.
I have Georgia over Texas.
I have Georgia as well.
I have Penn State over Oregon.
I have I have Oregon, and I have Clemson.
And I also have Clemson.
So
That
with that being said, with seeing this, with Penn State losing, SMU losing, Iowa State's obviously going to get the 12. Them or Boise are going to get the 12 seed. Army Tulane's not going to get in. I see Ohio State getting the 6 seed. I don't know who they're going to host though. I think they're going to host Clemson.
oh
Oh
my
no, Clemson will be the top 4 seed. So never mind.
Ohio
Um,
State versus
I,
Clemson though. Imagine
I
that.
think
Could
I
you
think Ohio State will get the 6 seed, which they'll end up playing Clemson because they'll be the 3 seed.
That would be so much fun. I would
So
love.
I have Ohio State the 6 seed playing the 11 seed, I believe it is. Um, and it's not Alabama. It's going to be. I think they're going to put SMU in still. So I think Ohio State's going to host SMU on Saturday at 4 o'clock on TNT.
Will
I
Shaq,
don't want that. I
Shaq
don't want
Hurry
that.
and Kenny the Jet be doing the pregame?
I don't.
We're gonna get NBA on TNT instead of college game
Yeah.
day.
Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to. I don't think we'll get that. If we get the 8 seed, I think we're getting one of the night games. We're either going to get the Friday night game or we're going to get the Saturday night game.
I
But
love it.
I think ultimately we're going to get the 6 seed. I really do. We're 6th right now. Chaos has got to happen. And I think we're going to be the 6 or 7. If we get the 6 seed, we're going to play SMU. If we get the 7 seed, we're going to play Indiana. So I
I
think
could
we're going to
see
play SMU
Indiana.
or
I could
Indiana.
see Indiana getting the 11 seed.
So with your picks, because you have the chaos. I need to hear your where you think Ohio State's gonna be seeded because you have Penn State ultimately getting the 1 seed. You obviously have Georgia the 2 seed,
So I would have,
Clemson the 3.
oh yeah, and then Oregon would be 5 seed because they would obviously be the highest first
Yeah,
team out. Um, I would have Iowa State. They would probably be like what the
the 12 seed.
would be the 12th. So they would play Oregon. Um, Texas would be if they lose to Georgia and they're at 2. I would probably say they go to what, like 6.
So we would probably get you in your eyes. You would probably see us get to 7.
Yeah, I would say 7. No, no, Notre Dame. Notre Dame will get the
Notre
6.
Dame will get this. Oh yeah, I forgot. I Okay, but in my scenario, Notre Dame's getting the 5 seed because Penn State is going to fall behind
Yeah,
us.
no, Texas would go to no. Oregon would still be 5. Notre Dame would be 6. I think Texas would fall to 7. And
And you
then
think Ohio State would host Tennessee?
yeah, I see that.
So I have okay. So I have Ohio State. I'll say this. I think because they're going to rank Texas higher than us. So I'll go Notre Dame 5, Texas 7. Texas 6, Ohio State 7. So I'll go the 7 seed.
I like it. No, those are all fair. Um, we'll see how it plays out. I'm just happy. I'll say
What
that
happens if Texas wins though? Georgia's going to have 3 losses. Do they get the 11 or 12 seed?
they say they're not going to penalize teams for playing the extra game, but like if you have 3 losses, you kind of got to be a little.
You got to put. They're still in the playoffs.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm not saying kick them out. I'm just saying the seeding
Al-
seeding has to be
I'd almost
has to
want
impact the
honest.
seeding a little bit.
I almost want Georgia, Texas to win because that will make sure Alabama doesn't get in.
Hmm.
Alabama, in my eyes, does not deserve a playoff spot.
I mean, could you see them though moving Georgia down? I can see them moving down to 8, and that's the pro. I can see them moving down to Georgia to like 8 because they're at
If they lose, they'll have 3 losses. I think they're a double-digit seed. They're going on the road.
but it's Georgia. I could see them putting at like 8. Just so like, oh, it was a good game. Put
It
them at
was a
8,
tough environment.
and then they'll put Ohio State versus Georgia round 1 just because it's
Now
wild.
I think Ohio State's locked a home playoff game.
Oh, I agree. We have a home playoff here. I'd be
Yeah.
shocked. I'd be shocked if we're going on the road to the SEC. It's just who we're gonna play. I mean, I'll tell you the teams I absolutely don't want to play. I don't want to play Georgia. I would love to play Bama. I would not want to play.
I would not want to play Georgia the first game.
I just wouldn't want to see him at all. Um, that's really it. I just don't want to play Georgia. Tennessee, I don't love playing, but that would be fun because I like both teams. Um, like I like Ohio State. I like Tennessee. I think we would beat Tennessee, but they are good on the. It's an interesting matchup because they are strong. Obviously, a strong running team. Nice touchdown pass, Goff. Um, they are a
I'm
strong.
behind.
They are a start. They are a strong running team with Samson, and they split everyone out on the hashes like that. I'm just curious how that like if our corners come to play, I think we could have a really good day on defense. Um,
We get time to prepare.
we do.
We get this week to rest, and then we find out who we play, and then we get 2 weeks to prepare.
I gotta say too, it might be kind of a blessing in disguise because we get this extra bye week basically. If we weren't gonna beat Oregon, if we truly didn't, think we were gonna beat Oregon, it might be better just to. And this is loser mentality. I don't care. It might just be better to sit this one out and get the guys the rest. It sucks that we had to lose to Michigan. I want to emphasize that absolutely sucks and drives me crazy. But there could be a little bit good that comes of this. The Tim Tebow speech. Oh, you're never going to see someone work harder and fight harder, whatever. There's going to be some good come from this. Like maybe there is some good that comes from the loss to Michigan. I don't know. I am excited to watch Oregon, Penn State on Saturday. I will say I don't have a dog in the fight. It's not like the past 3 years where I've just had to cheer for Purdue and Iowa when they played Michigan and they just do nothing on offense. This is going to be a heavyweight fight. Um, Should be really fun and entertaining. I'm actually gonna like I can't I'm really excited for this game. I hope James Franklin comes to play, has the boys ready. I'm pulling a little bit for Penn State because I would like to see them pull off the upset, and they've been through so much. And obviously, like Aaron is our good friend, so I'd like to see them get a win. Which would be it would be so funny if James Franklin has two Big Ten championships.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but
Well, yeah,
that's all I got, man.
that's all I got. Um, yeah,
Everybody stay warm. And then, because you 50-degree weather's coming on Monday or Sunday.
I can guarantee you when the 50-degree weather is going to be coming. If Ohio State's hosting an SEC team, it's going to somehow, we're going to be in the teens all week. And then suddenly that Saturday, it's going to be a 60
I
degrees.
think I took a screenshot of the AccuWeather extended forecast for the next 3 weeks, and it says as of right now it's 39 degrees.
Yeah. So we'll see. But that's all I got. Um, Thank you so much for everyone for listening to another episode of the Bunch of Nuts podcast. The sun will come up. The sun will come up
Eventually,
eventually. Hopefully not when we play an SEC team. We need it to be cold, but um, that's all I got. Thank you so much. Enjoy your weekend and enjoy a very entertaining, hopefully, Big Ten championship. Go Bucks.
go Bucks.